Happy Sunday, everybody. I am so happy to see you guys. Just want to let you know that I did post a video so you could get to see the reveal of the current house that I'm in now. If you haven't already saw it, make sure that you check out the video. I'll link it below. But today, someone posed a question to me. People actually post a lot of questions to me, but I am going to answer this question today. Do I think it's still a good idea to purchase real estate in Jamaica, maybe for Airbnb purposes, just with the current state of what's going on in the world today? So, we're going to talk about it. So, let's get started. The first thing that we will talk about will just be what type of property you would get, like how easy would it be for you to find something like that. And in this video, I am going to address new construction, and I'm also going to address, buying something from resale or a rental, something like that. And a lot of people just think, well, I don't see anything on the internet. I don't see anything on the multiple listings, whether you go on what is it, like realtor.com or some of the Jamaican websites, or just whatever source that you may use to look for real estate. And what you have to understand is, yes, that those independent searches are great. You definitely use those, but there are also other sources that you have to tap into, like, of course, the one that we all know are real estate agents. Real estate agents are an amazing source because of the fact that, obviously they know what the inventory is across the island. They may have their own little secret stash that they know about, like people that are going to sell or things that are not like visible on the market. They may know about those things. So you can't rule out real estate agents, but it's not your only source. A lot of us may have connections with other people, like maybe you have a family member or a friend that already has a property somewhere in Jamaica and they know of something that's coming for sale, or maybe they just want to sell their own home. So connections that you have that you don't even really think about, you can tap into that. Remember when I talked about word of mouth when I came down to Jamaica and I just started talking to people and, just putting the word out to maintenance people or staff members that I wanted to buy a property in Jamaica? Word of mouth is always an excellent source to just, get it out there that you are interested in buying a property. Maybe you stay in someone's Airbnb and they want to sell, and you talk to them, and that's the way that you connected with this person. They let you know, like, hey, I may want to sell. I know that's how one of the Airbnbers said, I know that's how she got her house, just by talking to the owner. She ran into the owner, or she just put the word out that she wanted to buy a property. One favorite of mine is finding people that have places that are maybe in an Airbnb environment that they can't really afford to bring up to, code of what the recent Airbnbs look like. Kind of sort of the way I got this house. Actually, that's how I got my first house too. She didn't want to invest the money to do the things to make this an Airbnb, yet this place wasn't bringing her any money. So it worked out for me in that sense. That's kind of like the thing I was doing. I look for places that are, not in the best shape, and I'm not looking to pay top dollar for them, and kind of like negotiate it out with the owners. That was kind of like the thing that I did. So if you saw this place, it was not modern. It wasn't really that well taken care of when I really, really got in to look at it. So that's kind of like what I do when I'm looking for a place, if it's going to be a rental. What about you people that are Jamaican and you actually have family members that are in Jamaica and they may own property, and you don't really think about tapping into that family element? I know even the guy that I bought my first house from, he had a son and his son just really wasn't interested in buying a house. I've known a lot of sellers here that have sold their homes because they had like younger family members back, in the States or the UK or Canada, and they just had no interest in coming down, taking over these properties because the properties may have been old and looking raggedy and they just didn't want anything to do with it. So you tap into that element too, like, hey, contact some family members, like grandma, great grandma, great aunt, they have little places in Jamaica that they don't want, or you could take them over and you can redo them. that's just something to think about. I mean, a lot of you guys may have family members down here, and these people end up selling these places not really knowing, the value of them. Or, maybe you can come in and take it over and start your business from there when they weren't going to really be doing anything with the house anyway. So that's another thing that you guys, like, people that have family members and even maybe a friend down here that has something, because no one can take care of a house forever, right? So they have to pass it on to somebody if they don't sell it. I mean, even me, when I get to a certain age where I can't continue to do something like this, or I don't have the funds to update it, or I don't see the importance of that in that aspect of my life, I have to do something with it, because no matter where you stay, where you live, you're never going to be there forever. Someone is going to live in the house that you live in right now. Someone is going to own your possessions that you have right now, or they're just going to go in the garbage, right? If you have it, use it, explore it. Another important thing is the interest rates. I know they are so high from when I, bought a few years ago. The interest rates are like sky high. So, like anything, it can affect your buying power, and that could be with a house, with a car, or anything that you're financing. So if you are financing a house, yes, that may affect your buying power. And yes, you may not be able to afford the house that you wanted to get, 2 years ago, or you had your mind on this property. Now it may seem out of your reach. But here are some things that you can try and, see if it works. Don't just take whatever answer someone gives you as that's the final word. I love negotiation. Is it negotiable? How will you know if you never ask? So let's first talk about the banks. Now, of course, when you're looking for a home, different banks have different rates. So you do have to go through the rates, and hopefully, maybe personally, you can actually speak to the banker about, remember I talked about that in some of my banking videos, that maybe you can try to negotiate, a lower rate. Or if you're already doing business with that bank, or if you've been a loyal customer, or you already own property with them, and yes, the current rate may be 8 or 10%, but you already have a loan with them that's in good standing, maybe they can give you, a lower rate, but you would never know if you didn't ask, because they're not going to just offer it to you. So you have to put in the work to ask. Let's talk about the seller. I personally know someone that just recently told me this story, like just with a month ago, not even. He's an Airbnber, and he wanted to get a place, but he just didn't have the funds to put, everything down. Now, the owner owned her place straight out. She allowed him to sign a contract to go in to start his, construction work or whatever, contingent on he would come up with the down payment in a year. So look, that timing gives him a chance to be able to take those funds, and put it into the house, or do whatever plan he has. I don't know specifically what plan he has, but of course, he still has to come up with the down payment. I don't know what they really negotiated out, but it just lets you know that there can be options, and maybe you can speak to the seller about something like that if it's a place that you really, really want. What about location? Negotiating with the seller about location or the condition of the house. Just things like, hey, I'm going to have to come in and do this. And I know you're asking for this, but, it's not in the best of locations, or look at all this work that I have to do. And you can talk to them. I mean, I did that with my first house. The seller wanted way more than what I actually paid for it. But, after me talking to him and him listening to me. And another big thing is, how long has this house been on the market? You are asking this top dollar thing, but you have been unable to sell this house for the past year, or this house has had no activity. So maybe we can, compromise. I want the house, you want to sell it. Let's see what we can do. Another way of negotiating or trying to get a deal below what maybe the seller is asking is coming prepared, making that seller feel that you are the right person for him. The deal is going to go smoothly. You're already prepared. And because you've already watched my other videos about preparing for this process, if you are financing, you've already contacted the bank. You already have your paperwork. You've already filled out your paperwork. You've already went through the pre-approval process if that's something that you're going to do. You are ready. This deal is going to go smoothly, and you're going to relay this over to the seller. That was another tactic that I used for this house, because there was someone else that wanted to buy this house as well. But because I came so prepared, I told her, I already have my paperwork ready. I'm just waiting for you to tell me that you're ready to sell. And I'm sending this in tomorrow. I already have it filled out. I just didn't have the dates on there. And I was serious. And because I've shared this with you guys, you can be too. Plus, it gets you ready to know the process for the bank, because you're going to be so blessed, and you're going to be doing more and more Airbnbs and buying more property. It's going to be like you already know the process. So convincing this seller that you are the right person for them can make them not look at deals from other people and really go with you, because you've made them feel comfortable, and you've also made them feel like you're prepared, you're approved, and this deal is going to go really, really fast. And just a side note, you know how people say you like to have the ball in your court. I like to have the ball in my court too, but when the game of real estate comes, I always want to be prepared that if there is something needed from me, I'm getting it over to them in 24 hours. Know your process, know the forms, know what you have to do, be ahead of the steps. So when the seller tells you, oh, we're waiting on you to do this, you're not waiting on me, because I'm sending it in right now. I already have it prepared. So you want this process to move as smoothly, because when things don't go smoothly, you can always question, like, hey, whether it's the bank or this attorney or something, I sent you this in on this day. Why is this not happening for me? They can never say, oh, this process is taking so long because of something that you've done or something that you didn't know. You do know, because you're watching my videos, and you're also following other people that are giving you more insight on the buying process. What about people that are they call it in arrears here? Basically, they're either behind on their mortgage, or it can even come from just not paying their association or maintenance fees, and the condo has come after them. They're in trouble. They can't pay, maybe it's the taxes. There's so many different elements of being behind on things when you buy a home. This is why I stress to you making sure that you can afford what you buy. But a lot of people swoop in and they grab these places for pennies on the dollar. For instance, I know a place just in my building that the people cannot afford to have the house. I think it's more so because of their condo association fees, and they weren't paying their taxes, and they're forced to sell, and they're selling the places for pennies on the dollar. And yes, there is a buyer. I just, heard this. Of course there's a buyer, because real estate is hot here. So that is something that you can look into. Now, I don't know a lot about that, but I remember a couple of years back, this is before I ever even got started with Airbnb. I know a person that found a way to get a home like that, and he got it really, really cheap, because the owner just simply just said, just forget it, I can't pay, and he sold it to him before the bank took the house from the owner. That's something else that you can think about. And I'm just telling you this from just experiences and conversations that I've had with other Airbnbers. I know one Airbnber, he told me that he was just driving down the street, and you know how you see these houses that are half built and half not, and they're just sitting there. They could be on the strip, on the off the beaten path, on the beaten path. You just see them, and nothing's being done with the house. And he did his due diligence. It took him about 6 to 8 months, but he found the owners, and they didn't even live here. And it was some older couple that was never going to do anything with it. And he was able to secure this place to do whatever it is that he's going to do Airbnb wise. So don't disregard these places when you're driving down the street and you see these places that are not fully constructed. They've been sitting there. You've been coming down here for years, and you keep seeing this house right here. You're thinking, like, you probably don't even think about it. But those are other sources too that people use to get property down here. Be prepared and know your limits with buying, meaning your buying power. The banks typically do a very good job at letting you know what you can afford, but the person that really, really knows what they can afford, that is going to be you. So go into this process knowing exactly what you can afford, because you don't ever want to put yourself in a position that makes you uncomfortable and that makes you just have anxiety throughout this whole buying process, and then thus into the ownership. You definitely don't want that, because it's not going to be a good feeling just thinking that you don't have enough money, to pay for something because you didn't have guests, and now who's going to pay for this because you still have to live your own life. Yes, this business will bring you money, but like I told you, the money is not always guaranteed, because things happen, pandemics happen, the weather happens. Well, things happen that I've spoken to you about in other videos. Now, you people that are buying new constructions, don't fall out of this either, because even though you don't have to do work or a lot of the fixing up and everything like that, there are still things that can happen in new construction. Like, for instance, there can be delays with materials, with the actual construction. Weather can play a part, pandemics, that's a part of our lives now. That can happen. What else can happen? Completion dates can be way off. I remember when I was actually signing a contract for a property called Paradisiac, I saw a little clause there that they can, depending on, material cost and just costs that happen throughout the process, the price that they gave me may go up, 10-15%. And you have to be prepared for that, because now that you've given this down payment that may be non-refundable, you have to be prepared that, if you had to pay 200,000, that cost may be 215,000, 220,000 on top of all the other things. And then you remember, like, during the time that I was trying to get this house, the interest rates were 5, and then they went up to 8. So, and this was during the process. I didn't end up getting the house, just like I said, because this happened for me, and this was just a better choice for me at the time. But it just lets you know, like, things can happen, so we have to be prepared. Now that I've spoken about some of the things, some of the details that I wanted you guys to know, do I think it's a good idea to buy? Yes. If you can incorporate some of the things that I just mentioned in this video and let it make you more prepared for the process, I do. Real estate is so high here. There's construction coming up everywhere. One fellow Airbnb that I know, she told me a new baby is being born in Jamaica every single day, and it is so true. Did you guys hear that they said they found oil here? What do y'all think about that? What is that gonna mean for Jamaica? Is it gonna mean anything? I don't know. But anyway, we're not talking about oil right now. But as long as you're prepared, and as long as you use your resources and you use your head and you become educated about the process, I think that anything is possible. And because there's so many things coming up, maybe if there's something you want to buy, you can speak to the builders. A lot of them offer very deep discounts before construction, because of course, they're trying to get the money in so that they can, build the projects and everything. So those are when you're going to get some of your better deals before they actually build the building or the condo, whatever it is that they're building, the home. So looking into stuff like that as well, when you see these signs go up in this field of nothing, you get that number. If that's a good location that you like, you go on the website, you see what they're building, it looks like it's something that you'd be interested in, then you check it out. But just to drive down the streets or the roads here in Jamaica, you will see signs everywhere. Everyone is building something. So real estate is extremely hot. And so the only way that it's hot like that is because people are buying. Just in my building alone, I see like 3 new places that have sold, and people are starting like renovations. These places were never on the market. They were just probably sold by word of mouth. Like I told you, that's just what happens. Nothing beats immersing yourself down here with people, but it's not to say that it can't be done from home. But the only real thing that you could do at home is just kind of look on the internet and depend on one person. So like I told you, when you guys come down here on vacation, or you're coming to some festival, or you're coming to see Vibes Cartel in December, make sure that you make some connections with people and try to go to, like, sometimes they have, I know just recently, I didn't even know, but in Kingston, they had like a like kind of like a real estate convention where people could network. Like, try to come to some of those things, like especially if you're trying to do something bigger or on a larger scale. I do want to mention that I have a friend of mine, and he just told me he started out kind of like me, just getting one place, and he just kept going and kept going and kept going. And now he just told me a couple of days ago that he's going to be building properties here for sale. I think it's going to be in Ocho Rios, condos for sale. So I'm very happy. I don't want to like tell everything about it. I have to ask him first if it's okay if I tell you guys about it, because right now I don't know if it's I know it's more than an ideal because he already has like the land and everything, but he was just telling me because he's become so big, he's done what I've done, he's expanded, he has built before for himself, but now he wants to build other things and bring to Jamaica some of the things that a lot of that's what's missing. Like I told you, being innovative here is like also good because it definitely brings attention. But definitely when he tells me that I have the permission to tell you guys, I'm definitely going to keep you abreast of it, and I'm going to take you there so you can see, because maybe you want to buy a place, because he was telling me I should buy a place. I'm like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. And I'm also supposed to be going on his, I don't know if it's a podcast, it's something like that. We're supposed to record Sunday. So if I do end up doing it Sunday, I'm going to let you guys know, because I would really like you guys to go over just to watch, and give me some support. But I'll let you guys know if it does happen. He had, approached me about speaking with him. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. But to answer the question again, yes, 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 do it. If you can, do it. Just be educated. Just do some of the things that I'm telling you. I've never done a new construction. So if you have any ideas or any comments, or maybe you're a person that has bought new construction and you just want to enlighten us on something, make sure you leave the comments below. So I'm going to wrap up this video now. I want to thank you guys so much for your support. We are so happy. You guys, like YouTube just wrote me and said that we have surpassed like watch hours to become monetized. And I'm like, what? We are so happy. Thank you guys so much. You really like the channel. I love how you interact with me. And like I always say, if I don't answer your question, it's because I find that it's relevant for me to just put the information in the video. So I have all the questions written down and I'm coming with the answers. It's just a little, you guys know I'm doing stuff, and I'm also recording, I'm also editing. So it's a lot for me, but I want to say thank you so much. Donald thanks you as well. We have like our watch hours are like crazy, and I'm just so excited. Our subscribers are coming up, and we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is like, I can't even believe that, that people are really, really interacting with us. What's next for us, I don't know, but I really want to start to expand to do things. Not just saying I want to, continue to buy real estate, because I'm never against buying real estate, because as you know, anybody will tell you having real estate in your portfolio is only a good thing at all times. Like if you are going to be an investor in anything real estate, you could really never go wrong. So, but I want to start to do other things and working with other people, Airbnbers, builders. I don't know what it is I want to do, but I'm just trying to work on that now and just see what I want. But I need to finish this. I need to go home. And guys, we're going to Vegas. I want to, even though that has nothing to do with Airbnb, but I've never been to Vegas, so I'm excited. So I'm going to take you guys with me. So pack your bags. I don't care if you want to go, because you're going with me. Okay, just I'm only going for a couple of days. You could spare some time. We all need a vacation, and you need a vacation from me talking about this. But I hope you found this video informative. I hope you like it. Let me know if I missed something, or better yet, just leave it down. If you are not a subscriber of our channel, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. We have so much more to share with you, and we are so blessed to have you in our lives. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.